Right at the top of the hour, it's 8 o'clock and it's time for News Tonight. It is the 7th of November 2019, a day we witness the strengthening of the India-Uganda relationship. And of course, we will be having that live feed a little bit later. But before we get into the details of that, let's first have the headlines. In our top stories tonight, Ministry of Education rewards best primary teachers with a trip to Israel. Ministry of Health admitted to understaffing for specialized services at regional referral hospitals. The International Criminal Court sentences Bosco Ntaganda to 30 years in prison. And in sports, Uganda Olympic Committee determined to get results at 2020 Olympics. My name is Patricia Lokoma, and Mugalu Mohammed will be shortly joining us in a short while. Now, President Yoweri Museveni commended the good and strong relationship that exists between France and Uganda, adding that the two countries can still do a lot more in terms of development. He was speaking during a meeting with the new French ambassador to Uganda, Mr. Gilles Amand, at State House in Entebbe. State Minister for Investment, Evelyn Anite, among others, attended the meeting. Mr. Museveni urged the French government to contribute more in the fight against terrorism, adding that France and Uganda should cooperate in the development of space capacity so that Uganda is enabled to provide surveillance mechanisms around the country's lakes for purposes of efficiency in the fishing sector. The French envoy reaffirmed that the commitment of the French government to strengthen further cooperation between the two countries was especially in the economic sector. He commended President Museveni for his commitment to the sector of investment in Uganda, adding that it is very important for Uganda to work for the growth and expansion of the business opportunities in collaboration with other key players. In the army, President Yoweri Museveni has called for the integration of the African continent to root for a more vibrant and strong economic base and prosperity like China and the United States of America as it has been. He stressed that Africa's desired economic integration cannot be fully guaranteed unless the continent moves to grapple with challenges attendant to lack of strategic security.
You can feed United States, China, India, all into Africa, and you remain with spare space where you can put Canada and it is very huge. So Africa has got very few people, very few groups, just 4 of them. But because of the leaders who don't know what they are talking about, they always highlight the differences. The tribes, Zulu, Sutu, I don't know what do you call these other people, Venda. But these are people who are very close. Why don't you emphasize the closeness? Why do you emphasize the difference? So the African people are the same, but unfortunately they were not governed together. They were governed in those small chiefdoms and kingdoms. But because they were not governed together, they were not aware that they are the same. So when the colonists came, they find these scattered little kingdoms and chiefdoms. And that's how they were able to conquer them one by one.
Well, as we continue with the news, South Sudan warring factions have agreed on the 100-day extension to form a transitional government as stipulated in the 2018 peace accord. Now, the parties were to form a government by 12th November 2019, but the incomplete critical tasks related to the security arrangement and governance merited this extension. Let's hear more.
Incomplete critical tasks related to security arrangements and governance, including the formation of a revitalized transitional government of national unity. In view of the above, the meeting agreed to extend the pre-transitional period for 100 days, effective from the 12th of November 2019, and to review progress after 50 days from that date, and a report be submitted to the heads of state and parties. The parties agreed to establish a mechanism from the guarantors, and the parties supervise the implementation of the critical tasks. During this period, the 4 IGAD countries represented in the meeting agreed to request IGAD to address the status of Dr. Riek Machar. The leaders urged the international community to continue supporting the implementation of the revitalized agreement. They also undertook to remain engaged and seized of the developments in South Sudan. HE President Salva Kiir and His Excellency Abdul Fattah Burhan expressed their appreciation to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the government and people of Uganda, for the warm welcome and hospitality extended to them during the visit done at State House in Entebbe on 7th November 2019. Thank you very much. And we are not taking any questions. Thank you.
Well, tonight, His Excellency, the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is hosting the Uganda-India community to our Diwali dinner celebration at State House Entebbe. And of course, Diwali is a Hindu festival of highlights, typically lasting 5 days. It symbolizes the spiritual, the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and then knowledge over ignorance. But if we talked a little bit about the India-Uganda relation, it has actually grown over centuries. The engagement is more in the areas of investment and then trade, so it is kind of logical for the president to bless this occasion. As you can see, their guests are gathered in anticipation, waiting for His Excellency to join them. Now, on the side of India, due to that long-lasting relationship that Uganda has with India, we see the sense of belonging for the Indians in the Ugandan community and the economy in particular. And then on the side of Uganda, we have a lot to learn from this community. If we took, for example, both economies, India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, and of course strengthening that relation will definitely uplift especially our trade sector. We see also innovation as another thing that really joins these two countries in a strong relation. As you can remember, in 2018 the government of India donated a state-of-the-art cancer therapy machine, and of course that is also something that kind of showed that love, that passion that they have for our very own country. So when they talk about India-Uganda relation, there is something evident, something tangible that we can really relate to. of course, other things probably to add on to that. This cancer therapy machine is not only going to benefit Uganda in particular, but we see that more extended to the region. If other, people from different regions, let's talk about the neighboring region, the East African region, if they want to utilize the services of this cancer therapy machine, will definitely be able and obliged to kind of give them that support. We will be joining live there at Entebbe State House, where His Excellency will be, celebrating the Diwali dinner with the Indian community. Now, moving ahead, the First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has flagged off the 3 best primary teachers for a 1-week education tour to Israel. The 3 were selected for their exemplary teaching services at the recently concluded 2nd National Teachers Conference held at London College of St. Lawrence in Maya.
Komony, Asaba Margaret, Isaac Omony and Senono Peter are the 3 lucky primary teachers selected from Chegegwa, Amur and Rakai district to represent Uganda on an education tour to Israel, courtesy of the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports. While flagging off the teachers, Mrs. Janet Museveni says God always watches and rewards those that serve selflessly. She also thanked them for the good job done at their respective schools.
So today brings those fruits of gratitude that come from God Himself as a judge I'm talking about. And I'm happy, really.
The Minister of State for Primary Education, Rosemary Seninde, briefed her senior about the outcome of the recently concluded 2nd National Teachers Conference.
Some districts, for example, Kalungu, have already resolved to recognize their best teachers, the ones who were sorted out as best teachers among the 50 from their district, by promoting them to school leadership positions. Some of them have been made deputies, others have been made head teachers.
The education tour is meant to motivate teachers and will be an opportunity for the ministry to benchmark and learn about Israel's education system. Remija Simbonye, UBC News.
All right, it's time for us to join a State House and there to join the India community Diwali dinner to see what's happening there. And of course, guests are really anticipated there. They're very happy, gathered together, waiting for the arrival of His Excellency, the President of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Let's head over to State House and for the live view.
Indian anthem.
Vindhya Himachala
can take your seats. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, His Excellency, the Vice President, Edward Kiwanuka II, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Ndugu Lugunda, His Excellency, Charge the Affairs at the High Commission of India in Uganda, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to thank the President and Mama Janet for hosting us this evening on this occasion of Diwali to join our good friends of Indian community during this very important celebration. This dinner, Your Excellency, shows that you and Mama are committed to the diplomatic engagements both internationally and at home. It is also a platform for culture exchange between our people and a renewal of our commitment to do good than evil, because the central teaching of Diwali is victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance, which is also the central theme of Christianity and Islam. Your Excellency, allow me to recognize a few very, very important people around. Your Excellency, beside you is the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, Edward Kiwanuka II, and we have also the Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honorable Wakanda Rugunda. We have also amongst us Father Lokodo, the Minister of Ethics and Integrity, is here with us. We also have the Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, Mr. Mtala, is here with us. We also have the UN Resident Coordinator and a designated official for security, Madame Rose Malango, she's here with us. Your Excellency, amongst the VIPs representing the Indian community, we have Mr. Kananathan, is here with us. We have Mr. Mayul Madvan, is here with us. We have Mr. Mahendra Mehta and his dear wife. We have Mrs. Jotsan Lupaleria, she's here with us. We have Mr. Som Shoka, he's here with us. We have Mr. Jay Panth, he's here with us. We have Mr. Jit Buchi, he's here with us. We have Mr. Paradeep Karia is with us. We have Honorable Singh Katongole. We have Honorable Rajin Taylor. And we have Mr. Vali Jamal. And the rest are also here with us. Your Excellency, allow me to recognize the young children who have championed in All Africa Under 15 in Mauritius. That is Ashati Mohammed. He won a bronze in Zambia International 2018, and he represented Uganda Under 19 World Cup in Canada. He also represented Uganda Under 19 World Cup 2019 in Russia. Can I have Ashati Mohammed to come over and shake hands with the President? Go and shake hands with the President. Your Excellency, we also have a young lady, a young girl, Fadira Shamika. She has won many nationals under 15 championship. Fadira, can you please come over? She won a bronze medal and she represented Uganda under 19 World Cup in Canada and under 19 World Cup 2019 in Russia. Thank you. Your Excellency, allow me call upon the Indian Association Executive Committee Vice Chairperson to make a few remarks. Please come over and make a few remarks. And time is limited between 3 to 5. Come over here. Please come over here. 3 to 5 minutes.
His Excellency, the President of Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Your Excellency the Vice President, First Lady, Honorable Ministers, First Secretary Sanjeev Goel, Community Heads, Head of different business houses, protocol observed. Good evening. On behalf of Indian Association, I would like to welcome you all to a Diwali dinner hosted by our President, His Excellency the President Museveni, and the First Lady. Your Excellency, on occasion of Diwali, it is our custom that we go to our elders to take blessings. As an elder and a fatherly figure to us, we request you to shower your blessings to all of us. On this great day, may the light of joy and prosperity shine on you all. Wishing you all happy Diwali and prosperous New Year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, allow me to invite the Indian Association Executive Committee Chairperson to make a few remarks. As I also recognize the presence of His Excellency, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, is also here with us.
Our host, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Your Excellency, Vice President of Uganda, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers present, Your Excellency, Charge the Affairs of at Indian High Commission of India to Uganda, members of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Excellency Ambassador Kanna Kannadhan, Consulate General of Sri Lanka, ladies and gentlemen, protocols observed. Good evening. Your Excellency, as the Indian Association of Uganda, the Indian community in Uganda, we take this opportunity to recognize and appreciate this invitation to share and celebrate Diwali with you as a symbol of togetherness. Diwali in the Indian culture symbolizes the spiritual victory of light over darkness. This is in tandem with journey of Uganda's progress over 33 years of NRM leadership, which have been characterized by positive transformation in all aspects. The secure, comfortable and habitable environment that your government has created and maintained has attracted many of us to settle and invest in Uganda and encourage others to come and explore the endless opportunities in this beautiful land, which we are proud to call as home. I always state that our stay in Uganda is summarized in 3 Ps: peaceful, pleasant, and profitable. We would like also thank Your Excellency for working hard towards African unity and development in trade relations by promoting the East African political and economic integration and continental free trade area, which is opening up new markets for our products as well as free movement of skilled and semi-skilled and unskilled human resources. We also have the pleasure to congratulate Your Excellency on bringing back Uganda Airlines to the skies. In the same breath, I think it would be beneficial for both Uganda and India to have a flight that goes directly to Mumbai in near future to bolster trade relations. I kindly ask everyone to give His Excellency a round of applause on this achievement. In spirit of gratitude this year, I am glad to inform Your Excellency that with your support, we have initiated the much required construction of sand model worth of over 750 million Uganda shillings at the Senior Commandant Staff College, Kimaka. This will be symbol of our appreciation to the highly disciplined UPDF for the role they play in safeguarding and sovereignty and territorial integrity of Uganda, in addition to the various supporting roles they are playing in various sectors and agencies. Construction is underway and many members of the Indian Association have proudly contributed in various ways. I am proud to announce Balaji Group is the main sponsor for this project. However, Your Excellency, these are not without challenges, which we are sure can be easily resolved. With your support, direction, and guidance, and where necessary, intervention, these includes but not limited to not enough involvement in policy making. As contributors of huge tax revenue of the country, we request you to be involved in policy making processes in the country. Our input can go a long way in helping make more practical, achievable, and sustainable policy decisions that will benefit all of us. Indian Association is not only limited to Uganda, but we also managed to encourage investors from India to invest in Uganda this year. They invested around $300 million. The extradition treaty between Uganda and India has expired in 1972 and has not been renewed since. This has resulted in our own people engaging in criminal activities in Uganda and running to India, well knowing that they will be safe in the absence of an extradition agreement. In recent past, there have been many cases in which millions of dollars were embezzled and criminals ran off to India. This has not only caused financial losses to the business houses those individuals embezzled from, but taints of the image Indians in Uganda. It also denies the victims of these people criminal activities a chance to get justice. We therefore request that this agreement can be formalized at the earliest in order to foster judicial cooperation in criminal matters between our countries. Agriculture trade, when we are trading high value crops to Indian and Asian countries. These countries have a trade and economic blocks like SHARC and ASEAN, like we have here COMESA, where they have low or no taxes among majority economies. We hereby kindly request Your Excellency to promote a mutual understanding between SAARC countries and African countries in order to have minimum taxes as well. Your Excellency, We would like to commend your government for streamlining the Immigration Directorate by introducing state-of-art systems and highly disciplined and efficient personnel for the process faster and corruption-free. We, however, still face some challenges with the citizenship and also like kid status. Some of them were born in Uganda and others have spent 18 years here. For them, India is a foreign country and they adopted this culture of Uganda. But as per immigration law, student passes are not recognized for residence and citizenship, which is forcing them to go back to India yet parents are settled in Uganda. As the Indian Association, we pledge to play our role in strengthening the social and economic ties between the Indian community and Ugandan community. With our activities, which include charity, CSR, sponsorship of various activities, we would like to assure you that we have greatest resolve to be part of Ugandan socio-economic transformation into a middle-income economy. It is in the spirit of Your Excellency that we humbly request government to allocate to us any land within Kampala for us to develop culture, medical and sports center, which will be benefit for both Indian and Ugandan community. I believe our records of delivering what we promise speaks for itself. Allow me, Your Excellency, to thank you once again for the continuous support you have given community right from 1986. We also appreciate the fact that you have created conducive environment for us to return, settle and attract others to live, invest in Uganda. We also do not take for granted the fact that you are only African president who hosts Diwali celebrations, something we always take pride in. Your Excellency, this is a community event where we don't want to discuss business matters. We hereby request you to avail us time, as you always do, out of your busy schedule to come and discuss matters pertaining to our business challenges. I kindly request Vice Chairman Mr. Divyang Patel and Wahid to submit our wish file to His Excellency to the President. With these few remarks, I wish you all successful Diwali celebrations and enjoyable dinner. Thank you all. For God and my country, Jai Hind.
Thank you. Can I now invite the Indian High Commissioner to make a few remarks?
My name is Sanjeev Kumar Goyal. I am charge the affairs at the Indian High Commission. Our High Commissioner is in India. So, Your Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency Vice President, Right Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, Dean Diplomatic Corps, Diplomatic Community, members of Indian Diaspora, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening and namaskar. It's an honor and privilege to be representing the High Commission of India on the occasion of celebration of Diwali. We all, as Indian community, are delighted to be here today to celebrate Diwali. We thank His Excellency President Museveni for this very thoughtful and gracious gesture towards India and the Indian community in Uganda. Excellency, the Diwali celebrations at State House is now an annual event which Indian community eagerly look forward to with great enthusiasm. We all know Diwali is a festival of lights. Light symbolizes the victory of good over evil. It symbolizes the victory of hope. it symbolizes the victory of perseverance and it's a sign of prosperity. I avail myself of this opportunity to extend heartfelt thanks for your leadership, which has guided the Ugandan economy to its present heights, and also thank you, Excellency, for the great support and guidance extended to Indian community in their efforts to develop the country. Indian community has mingled very well in the Ugandan society and they are very much part of the Ugandan culture. Just to mention, last week a traditional dance troupe from India came especially for participating in the second annual Art and Culture Festival organized by Uganda National Cultural Center in Kampala. And it was very well received by the Ugandan people. Excellency, relations between our countries are embedded in history and have gained strength in recent years. Just to mention that Indian government has supported education system in Uganda by supply of around 100,000 textbooks on different subjects and across various classes for use by students in Ugandan schools. These books have recently been handed over to the government of Uganda. I am also happy to say that government of Uganda would soon hand over 88 vehicles to government of Uganda for use by UPDF as well as for civilian use. In the end, on behalf of the community and on my own behalf, a very happy Diwali to Your Excellency and First Lady and the friendly people of Uganda. May this festive season bring peace, prosperity and joy. And may we all succeed in our endeavors. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, today's Diwali started with the prayers by the various Indian priests, and then it was followed by lamp lighting, which was done. Then we had performance by 4 groups of beautiful Indian girls, and then they were hosted to a dinner. I want to thank you for hosting this community to the dinner. Your Excellency, with those few remarks, I take the honor to invite you to address your guests. I want to thank you.
Sit down, please. Thank you. Thank you. His Excellency the Vice President of Uganda, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Charge of Affairs of Indian High Commission, His Excellency the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, and the other ambassadors, all ladies and gentlemen of the Indian Association. As I always tell you, when I was growing up in the 1950s, I saw the complementarity of the few Indians who were living near us and the Africans. I don't know whether my Indians of Ntungamo are here. Where are those Indians? What are their names? The children of Mamdari? Huh? Megani, yes. Those are the people. There were 4 Indian families and 2 Arabs. So there were 6 of them. In the Ntungamo, what is now Ntungamo town. At that time, these 6 were the only buildings there. by 1956. The Indians, both of Ntungamo, Mbarara, Kampala, Jinja, were engaged in trading because we the Africans were not in trading. They were the ones bringing things from all over the place. They had cloth called Marekani. That's what we were calling it. Marekani, which means American textile. But for us, we were calling it Marekani. And then they would bring Japan. There was another textile known as Japan, meaning Japan. I don't know, Japan. And then they used to have khaki. I don't know where they were getting khaki from. Huh? Khaki is what? Is it? But yes, but I don't know where it was coming from. And then they would bring all other things like the salt, the paraffin, the soap, all those things that were needed. And later on, they also started bringing inputs into agriculture. Like, for instance, I remember from 1956, they started bringing Gamatox. Gamatox was an acaricide against ticks of cows. So the division of labor was for the, and please don't tell us about your issues of India and Pakistan. Even me, I cannot tell a Pakistani from an Indian. You are all Wahindi. So, like my Indians of Buntungamo, I think they were mainly Muslims. I think they were Ismailis. They were Ismailis, those ones, the Mahmud Ali, that is Muhammad Ali. You know, the Bantus are very dangerous people. The Bantus, they Bantunize everything. When you come with your name, they totally change it. You can't even recognize it. There is a suburb of Kampala called Bakuli. You know Bakuli? Now, apparently there was an Englishman who was living there called Barclay. But these people changed it and said Bakuli. Because Bakuli is something they can understand. A Bakuli is a sort of, what do you call it in English? A bowl, yes. So they couldn't get this man's name, Barclay. Say, oh, this is Bakuli. So, our Indians of Ntungamo, one was Muhammad Ali, that was Muhammad Ali, I think. Then there was Budara, that would have been Abdallah. And but the most important thing is the complementarity. In our local languages, we call it okuchenura. Omcheno is when you have a need. and then somebody solves your need. Then somebody solves your need. That's Okuchenura. So that's what we are doing. We are Okuchenura one another. The Indians, we are bringing, as I said, trade items. The ones in Mbarara, were into some of the services, like for instance medical. There were a number of Indian doctors, private doctors, who did a lot of work. In fact, some of the children, for instance, we had an army officer who was called Poteri. Poteri, they were being treated by a doctor called Patel in Masaka. So this army officer died when he was, I think he was a colonel or something. But he was called Poteri because he was treated by the Indian doctor in Masaka. Then the ones in Jinja and a little bit of Kampala were engaged in manufacturing. And some, like the ones in Nakasongola area, there was a group there called Walji Jamal. They were engaged in commercial farming. So the Indians were in all these sectors: trade, medical, manufacturing, commercial farming. Therefore, somebody should be able to write something about that history. When we came, therefore, in the government, and even when we were still fighting, we were very clear in our heads that the Indians were playing a positive role in Uganda, and it was a big mistake. It was a big mistake for Idi Amin. Even other Africans, because even in other African countries, you would hear people talking about Indians, as if they are a problem. When in fact, really, they are a very big asset for the Africans. So therefore, when we came, I had to make it clear to our parliament that time, 1986 to 1995, that parliament was called National Resistance Council, NRC. And we had a big ideological and strategic debate until everybody was convinced, and many of the members were in Indian houses. So I had tell them to get out of the Indian houses. I tell them to get out of the Indian houses, hand them over, and there were not many. In the whole of Uganda, the properties were only 4,000. Just bring Ikisirani for nothing. I hope they know what Ikisirani is. What do you call it in Hindi, Ikisirani? Panuthi. Panuthi. So these 4,000 properties of the Indians were just Panuthi, you call it Panuthi. Just a Kisirani. Because if you see, if you look at it, and that's what I told them in the NRC, please get out of this Kisirani. They will bring us bad luck for nothing. We don't need to be in Indian houses. We shall build our own. And as you can see, when I last checked the properties in the Kampala and Entebbe area now, about 5-10 years ago, there were like 500,000 houses in the Kampala and Entebbe area only. And the majority of them are owned by Africans. So you wonder how anybody would have really wanted to be in that Panuthi. Stolen property. Stolen, and some of, those Indian properties, some of them, the Dukawaras, small, miserable, Mabati with not very impressive. So therefore, I'm very happy that the NRM was very clear and sorted this program out, and that you all responded also. Thank you so much for responding. When I went to London, to the Church of the Indians, there's a big Church of the Indians there, where I went. And they have a pope. The Indians have their own pope. So I went there and he blessed me. He even came here. I think the same pope came here. Oh, that's another branch. So when I was in London, some of the Indians were mourning, we suffered. I said, you shut up. Africans suffered more than you people. We all suffered. So you come back. And I told them that the only bush is Shepherd's Bush. in London, because there's a place called Shepherd's Bush. So I said, you shut up. You come back. We all suffered. And I'm glad really you came, and you have played a very big role in the recovery of the economy of Uganda. Initially, you swam against the current because things were not easy. There was not lack of this, lack of that. But we have deliberately worked, and we are deliberately working to make your work much easier. We have concentrated on energy, electricity. We have not completed the struggle, but we are continuing. We have now much more electricity, as you can see, and we are going to have more because now these dams are getting finished, getting completed. Karuma, Bujagari was finished, completed long ago. Isimba. Soon we are going to start on Ayago and the other dams and the other sources of energy. We are not only going to have more electricity, but cheaper, because we are now insisting, and like in the case of Bujagari, which was where our people did not negotiate properly for the cost, but in all the new dams, I insist that the cost must not be more than 5 American cents per per unit. Is it kilowatt hour or what? Per unit. And that's exactly what's happening. I think Karuma is 4.8 cents. Isimba is 5 cents. And all the others would be in that. We shall not have, we shall eventually overcome the problem of costly electricity. It will be cheap and plentiful. From all sources, from hydro, from geothermal, from even nuclear. We are also going to build nuclear power stations so that we have enough electricity. Now, the other cost pusher is transport. Transport from here to the ocean. Because I think now the cost per 40-foot container by road is $3,500. But they say if you use the railway, I don't know which railway, whether it is the old one or the new one, that it can go to 1,500 or something like that. And that's what we are working on. The Kenyans have already got to Naivasha. We are going to start on our railway from here to Malaba initially, but eventually we shall reach all these places to South Sudan, to the Congo border, to the Rwanda border. We have all that big plan for the standard gauge railway, and that will address the issue of transport. Once we get to Tororo, even if the Kenyans have not yet got to Malaba, we shall have made a very big step forward, because we can either go to Kisumu by water or Mwanza, because even the Tanzanians are also working on the railway. So transport costs are going to go down, whichever direction you look, whether you want to go through Tanzania or through Kenya. Now we are also working on the cost of money, because the other high cost is loans from the banks, especially for manufacturing. We are going to keep on capitalizing UDB until they are able to give loans at about 12%, 10% for manufacturing. For manufacturing, not for nightclubs, not for... If you want to build a nightclub, then you go and borrow from Barclays Bank. The other one is what? From? The money lenders. Okay. But for manufacturing and some elements of the services like the hotels, there we are going to work deliberately on that front. Now, once you deal with the cost of production by dealing with the electricity, dealing with the transport, dealing with the cost of money, the cost of labor is still down, it's not very high, so that's not a big problem. Even the cost of the internet is also coming down. Then that leaves the issue of the market. Where do you sell what you produce? We are struggling with that issue of the market by integration in Africa we were just having a meeting here with the president of South Sudan. They were here just a few hours ago. And president of Sudan, Khartoum. So the markets are there. The markets of East Africa, there are still some problems, but they will be solved. The markets of East Africa, the market of Congo, the market of Sudan, the market of Central African Republic. We shall continue struggling with that market integration. Then, of course, there is the market. I would also like to encourage you, especially after we solve the issue of transport to the ocean. Then you, in your investments, you should look at exploiting third-party markets, like the United States market. For many years now, United States gave us the AGOA. 6,500 products can enter the American market tax-free, quota-free. For a long time now, since the time of Clinton actually, and that AGOA is still there. Only very few people have taken advantage of it, like the man of fine spinners. Is this fine spinners? That one is exporting to Europe, to the US. So that's a big market. 6,500 products can enter the American market, quota-free, tax-free. So the only problem we have been having is the transport cost to the ocean. Once that one is solved, I can see that this is a big solution. The market of China. The market of China is there. And it will continue because the Chinese deliberately want to develop alternative trade links with Africa because of their tug of war with the USA. The market of India. All the Indian prime ministers, Manmohan Singh, the present prime minister, they have all agreed to accept our products, quota-free, tax-free. The implementation doesn't take place easily, but we shall continue. When he was here, I told him that this was very crucial, and I'm sure in time they will listen. Then the market of the European Union market, that one is there. You know their market, EBA, everything but arms. EBA, everything but arms. And of course, I know you are not going to manufacture weapons, so that one does not apply to you. So that is the other issue to deal with. Now, so therefore, when we are talking of the Indian Association in Uganda, we are really talking about the prosperity of the African people in Uganda, prosperity of the Indians who are here, and also prosperity for the Indians who are in India and other places, because what we produce can support the prosperity of the other people, like what they produce supports our prosperity. If you see our young people who are riding Bajaj, motorcycles, riding Tata lorries, this is how we support one another's prosperity. Your spokesperson is a very clever man. He has given me a new formula, which is triple P's. Triple P's, which is peaceful, pleasant, and profitable. That's what he said. That's exactly the case. There was some hike of crime recently, but that's, I told you when I addressed Parliament that this is very shallow. We are going to defeat this crime. There's no way crime can defeat us. And as you see, we have, the police were a bit relaxed. Some of them had been infiltrated by some bad elements. But we have cleaned it up, and they have woken up. So the peaceful atmosphere will continue. Crime will be minimized. We are installing cameras. We are installing other technical means of detecting crime. You're going to continue enjoying very peaceful Uganda. It will be much more peaceful. It will be much more peaceful than even in the past, because we are now, in the past we were just using human capacity, but now we are adding technical capacity, which we had not concentrated on, and you will see that it would be very peaceful. Now, corruption, you are the ones who are encouraging corruption. Because you don't report these thieves, these thieves who ask for bribes. You just record him quietly, and you get it to me. We shall finish the business. Just send him to jail, and that matter is resolved. Or if you don't want to, if you cannot come to me directly, talk to the High Commissioner. The High Commissioner will find a way of getting it to me. And we eliminate these corrupt people. They don't have to waste our time. Now, on the airline has been restored, and very soon we shall get the Airbuses. Because these planes which came were the smaller ones, CG something, Canadian planes. These are just regional. But soon we shall get the Airbuses, which can go to London, to Bombay, to Gwangju, to Dubai. They will be able to go to Gwangju non-stop. That's why we bought. That's why we bought the Airbus 330-800. It was deliberate because we wanted to resolve this issue of the long range, so that people don't have to come through Dubai and all these places. So they are coming, and that will help. I like what your spokesman said. Being involved in policy. Yes, you are the ones who are creating wealth. So why should you not be involved in policy decisions? Why? You are free consultants. I just steal your knowledge at no cost to run my country better. So why should I not call you? What do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I don't pay you for the consultants. And you tell me. So what I will do, I will call your executive. I will not call the whole Diwali group. because that will be a massive rally. But I will call you executive, and you tell me what is needed here, needed there, needed there, and we shall do it, because you are the ones who are struggling with wealth creation. So you should tell us what is needed. The extradition treaty with India, that one I didn't know. We are going to work on it. Very simple. So the Indian crooks are coming here, doing damage, going to India with impunity. Now we are going to work with Mr. Modi, and we signed the treaty. The High Commission is here. I am now making my request. You heard what the people were saying. We want accountability from those crooks from India, so that there will be no rights. It will not be like in Hong Kong, where they tried to sign an extradition treaty and there were riots and problems. I'm sure we shall sign an extradition treaty peacefully between India and Uganda. About the sports center, yes, Dr. Gunda, you get these people, see where we can get land for them. We may not easily get land in Kampala proper, but even if it's a little bit 12 miles, 15 miles, it's not too far. You can do something there. The PG area, this area between PG and Nsanji, there are those areas which are not very far from Kampala, 20 miles, 15 miles, you can have something easily there, so enough land. Now, recognizing your Diwali, yes, you are one of our tribes. Since we have got many tribes, what is the problem adding on just one more? I don't see any problem. And I think did we put them in the Constitution or what? Not yet. We shall add it to the... We shall add the tribe of the Wahindi. Wahindi is... because, you know, for we the Africans, the human beings in the world are, I think there are 5 human beings. There are Africans, and then there are Waharabu, that one we know. We can tell that this is Uyu Maharabu Uyu. Waharabu, Wazungu, Wahindi, and that's why I told you, please don't confuse me with Pakistan. And even Sri Lanka, we don't think, we call all they are all Wahindi. I don't think we would even distinguish Afghanistan. I think we would regard them as Wahindi also. Afghanistan, those places. Then Wachina. Wachina, together with Japan. I don't think one can tell the Japanese from or Koreans. I think we say all are out in Wachina. So there is really no problem having an extra tribe of Wahindi. Now I think you will have to, like Mengo, you will have to have some, because we have got one of the ministers of Mengo here. One of the Mengo people, that one is a big minister in Mengo. you have now to have the clans, what do you call this, the Madhvanis, the Gujaratis, the other ones, my Indians, Arwaria. We had a doctor there called Arwaria in Mbara there. Punjabis, those will be like sub-clans within the Wahindi tribe. So I'm very happy. I congratulate you on the Diwali for this year. And I congratulate the young people who got prizes from badminton. Badminton, was it? Badminton and what else? Cricket. But you should tell the children, these are not the first Wahindi to excel in Uganda. We used to have very active rally drivers. I don't know where those people went. Joginder Singh and somebody else in the 60s. Sheikh Ameta. Yes, where did they go? In the 60s, there were big story competing in the East African Safari Rally. And they were competing with a Finnish man, Hannu Mikora. He came here recently. So Indians excelling in the sport. And from Kenya we used to have some Goan people. Serafino Antao was a big sprinter. So I'm very happy to see the young people coming up. We shall now be able to have again division of labor. The capture was those fellows who stay in the mountains, whose language know how to economize oxygen. They will run the long distance, then others will do something else, and our Indian children will play cricket and badminton and what else are they good at, the Indians? Huh? When we were in school, the Indian children were very good at hockey. I don't know why. Hockey. That was for Wahindi you. For we, our side was football, and cricket also was for the cricket. We were very good. The Wahindi children were very good at cricket. So I congratulate everybody and I wish you good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellence. And next I want to call upon the following to get ready to present a peace gift to HE, the President and the First Lady. Next is presentation of gifts to HE, the President and the First Lady, and we shall have
This is the man who is contributing to my wealth. When you hear that Museveni is a rich man, it is because of this man.
Your Excellency, there are some gifts to be presented to you. I call upon the Indian Association Chairman, Mr. Mohan Rao, then Mr. Mehta, Mr. Damesh Patel, Mr. Sanjeev Patel, and Mr. Staram, then Mr. Chako Babu, to present a gift to the President and the First Lady. That is a peace gift. Then after presentation of the peace gift, we shall have presentation of the garland and shawal to each the President.
When was that?
That was 1947.
Oh, okay. What was his name?
We have now Mr. Ravi Patel, Mr. Kalpesh Patel, and Mr. Mohan Reddy, then Mr. Raju to present the garland and shawal to each the President. Please come over. Area, please. Then we shall have Mama Care Foundation. Please go over and present your gift to the President. Then next will be the launch. After Mama Care presentation, we have a launch of the mobile app for blood donation, and it will be taken, it will be done, the process will be done by Mr. Harish Kumal. Please come over. Your Excellency, since Mama is not here, we are requesting that you also take to her the gifts that have been presented to her. The gifts for Mama, the First Lady, please present them to H.E. the President. He will do the needful. Then the launch of a mobile app, please get ready. Please come over and take us through the process of the launch. Your Excellency, I request that you sit a little and then we do the launch of the mobile app.
Good evening, His Excellency. Indian Association has donated over 25,000 units of blood in various blood donation drives. Today, Blood for Uganda. This is a mobile app we want to launch here. His Excellency, Indian Association would like to give this as a gift to the people of Uganda. His Excellency, this is a free mobile app and it is very easy to use. We are sure this will help connect the blood donors, hospitals and the needy patients from all over Uganda.
His Excellency, I would like allow me to invite the champion of blood donation drive, Mr. Kishore Dattani, and Mr. Robert Kiyune, Secretary General of Red Cross, and the Executive Director of UBTS, Dr. Dorothy. Please.
Your Excellency, they are requesting that you sign on it. Your Excellency, they are requesting that you sign as a team prepares to take HE to visit the Rongoli. Your Excellency, there is a Rongoli in that tent, and I request a team that has prepared to take HE the President to visit, and then we shall end with, Your Excellency, some photos. Let us prepare for some photos. Let's prepare for the photos for the various groups. When HE comes back, Your Excellency, they are requesting for some photos. The photos, Indian Association Executive Committee, please come over and have a photo with the HE the President. The Indian Association Executive Committee. Please hurry. Then that will be followed by the Indian Association Trustees. The committee first. Then the Indian Association Trustees get ready. The trustees next. Then that one will be followed by the Indian Business Forum. The trustees next. Please, the executive, fall out. Fall out and allow the trustees to have a photo with the President. Then the Indian Business Forum, prepare to have a photo with HE the President. The trustees fall out. Then Business Forum. Then the sports team, get ready. Then all cultural activities participants, all cultural activities participants, the girls, Your Excellency, those young girls wanted to make some performance, but I don't know if you can allow one or two. Your Excellency, there's one group here. The young entrepreneurs, the youth. Oh, that the President has allowed the young girls to have one presentation. They are very happy. Indian Women Association Executive and Trustees, go for a photo as the young girls get ready for the performance. Indian Women Association and Trustees, please get ready. The others fall out, then allow the Indian Women Association and Trustees. Please. The young girls, please come over. Just go forward. The Indian Women Association are now having a photo, and that will be the last. Then we shall have entertainment by the young girls. Possible. Indian Association Ginger. Indian Association Ginger. After the women. Then after Indian Association Ginger, then Nepali Association lasts. No more than that.
UN members also join, please. Huh? We can join them, madam.
No, the photo session is getting done. The photo session is getting done. After the women, there is zone 1, the ginger, and then the Nepali Association last. After ginger, the last is the Nepali Association. Those ones who have gotten photos, who have had photos with HE, please fall out. Fall out and allow others. I only want 2 groups. 2 groups only, and we are done. That is the last group that is going. That is the last group. then we listen to only one group, one presentation. Your Excellency, you've allowed performance by this young girl. Let him go. The Sikh community. No, that is the last. Please allow HE the President to listen to one performance that has been requested for. Can you please fall out? Please fall out. HE the President has worked the whole day. So let him listen to only one performance by the young girls. Dear guests, can you please take your seats? Allow this, the last group. That is the last group to have a photo with HA. After that group, I will allow HA the President to take his seat. I will request him to take his seat, and then we allow the girls to present. Can you please assume your seats? The rest of the guests, please take your seats. Please take your seats and allow HA the President to listen to the performance by the girls. Can you please take your seats? The floor is now yours.
Matata. It ain't no passing phrase. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
Oh, I have just come from India. Now I don't know what is the meaning of Hakuna Matata.
Yee, my dear friend, you don't know the meaning of Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata means...
Thank you so much. There is a next group coming on stage. Let's all give a very big hand clap to the young girls for the beautiful performance as we prepare to sing the anthems in the reverse order. I request that you all stand up and sing the anthems in the reverse order. We shall begin with the Indian anthem, then the Ugandan anthem. Band. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the Diwali function, and I want to thank the President for honoring this function. I want to thank all of you for coming.
The children, there are two teams.
All the children.
How many teams are you?
The second group, hurry up. And the third group as well, you can join, though you've not performed. And the fourth group, because I know there were 4 groups. You can as well join the photo with the President. Please join. In the last group, you can have a picture with the President. You can all go. The third and fourth. You can all go and join in one. The last group, you can go and have a photo with the President. That is the last group, Your Excellency. I want to thank you for coming, and I want to thank the President for honoring this function. I wish all of you journey masses. Thank you. Thank you.
Inspirational moment with Pastor Jackson Senyonga of Christian Life Church, Kampala.
If you're going to start investing, you're getting serious about money and resources. You really want to gain riches and wealth. You know who is going to take you there or help you get there? Is wise counsel. Get wise counsel. Inquire. Proverbs 13:20. Proverbs 13:20. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the champion of fools will be destroyed. If you have no counsel, no one giving you counsel, no one gives you wisdom, your plans will go to nothing.
Inspirational moment with Pastor Jackson Senyonga of Christian Life Church, Kampala.
So Paulie calls me and he tells me that your film has been banned in Tanzania. And I'm like, I said, okay, that's good. And I just told him.
No.
Yeah, I told him that's good. And I told him, you know what, Paulie? I would really appreciate if you write about this and actually say that Giant Maru has said that negative criticism is going to give him positive reviews.
Cause you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let her go.
No, I've never been someone shy until I seen your eyes. Still I had to try, yeah. Every little thing I do it for you. In every little song I sing it for you.
Always a pleasure joining you to bring you what's making headlines. My name is Patricia Lukoma, and in a short while, Mugalu Mohammed will be joining us. First, though, the headlines. In our top stories tonight, Ministry of Education rewards best primary teachers to a trip to Israel. Ministry of Health admitted to understaffing for specialized services at regional referral hospitals. The International Criminal Court sentences Bosco Ntaganda to 30 years in prison. And in sports, Uganda Olympic Committee determined to get results at 2020 Olympics. Thank you for allowing us to join your living room to discuss what's important in Uganda. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has commended the good and strong relationship that exists between France and Uganda, adding that the two countries can still do a lot more in terms of development. He was speaking during a meeting with the new French ambassador to Uganda, Mr. Jules Amand, at State House in Entebbe. State Minister for Investment, Evelyn Anite, among others, attended this meeting. Mr. Museveni urged the French government to contribute more in the fight against terrorism, adding that France and Uganda should cooperate in the development of space capacity so that Uganda is enabled to provide surveillance mechanisms around the country's lakes for purposes of efficiency in the fishing sector. The French envoy reaffirmed the commitment of the French government to strengthen further cooperation between the two countries, especially the economic sector. He commended President Yoweri Museveni for his commitment to the sector of investment in Uganda, adding that it is very important for Uganda to work for the growth and expansion of the business opportunities in collaboration with other key players. President Yoweri Museveni has called for integration of the African continent to root for a more vibrant and strong economic base and prosperity like China and United States of America have been able to do so. He stressed that the Africa's desired economic integration cannot be fully guaranteed unless the continent moves to grapple with challenges attendant to lack of strategic security.
It's a huge continent. Africa is 12 million square miles of land. You can fit United States, China, India, all into Africa, and you remain with spare space where you can put Canada and it is very huge. So Africa has got very few people, very few groups, just 4 of them. But because of the leaders who don't know what they are talking about, they always highlight the differences. Tribes, Zulu, Sutu, I don't know what do you call these other people, Venda. But these are people who are very close. Why don't you emphasize the closeness? Why do you emphasize the difference? So the African people are the same, but unfortunately they were not governed together. They were governed in those small chiefdoms and kingdoms. But because they were not governed together, they were not aware that they are the same. So when the colonists came, they found these scattered little kingdoms and chiefdoms. And that's how they were able to conquer them one by one. Now, this was very dangerous for Africa, because to be conquered was very risky. As you know very well, some of the people who were conquered never survived. They perished. Now, having survived, we must answer the questions that are crucial for our never again being dominated by anybody.
Now over to South Sudan. It looks like warring factions have agreed on a 100-day extension to form a transitional government as stipulated in the 2018 peace accord. The parties were to form a government by 12 November 2019, but the incomplete critical tasks related to the security arrangement and governance merited this extension. Now, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, has flagged off 3 best primary teachers for a one-week education tour to Israel. The 3 were selected for their exemplary teaching services at the recently concluded 2nd National Teachers Conference held at London College of St. Lawrence in Maya.
Asaba Margaret, Isaac Omoy and Senono Peter are the 3 lucky primary teachers selected from Chegegwa, Amur and Rakai district to represent Uganda on an education tour to Israel, courtesy of the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports. While flagging off the teachers, Mrs. Janet Museveni says God always watches and rewards those that serve selflessly. She also thanked them for the good job done at their respective schools.
So today brings those fruits of gratitude that come from God Himself as the judge I'm talking about. And I'm happy really.
The Minister of State for Primary Education, Rosemary Seninde, briefed her senior about the outcome of the recently concluded 2nd National Teachers Conference.
Some districts, for example Kalungu, have already resolved to recognize their best teachers, the ones who were sorted out as best teachers among the 50 from their district, by promoting them to school leadership positions. Some of them have been made deputies, others have been made head teachers.
The education tour is meant to motivate teachers and will be an opportunity for the ministry to benchmark and learn about Israel's education system. Remija Simbonye, UBC News.
Now, Ministry of Health has admitted understaffing for specialized services at regional referral hospitals. Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties, Sarah Pende, says that whereas the staffing for other health cadres is at 76%, that of the specialized services is at 31%.
Ministry of Health is working with the Health Service Commission to fill key positions that require specialized human resource at regional referral hospitals. Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties, Sarah Opendi, says that staffing specialized health services are still low. Opendi was officiating at the passing out of health workers at Mount May Institute for Health Sciences.
If you look at the staffing level as we stand now, overall it is at 76%. However, when you critically look at the various facilities, you find that the lower health facilities, Health Center 3s, Health Center 4s, that is where the staffing is actually fairly adequate. But when you look at specialized services, and of course the regional referral hospitals where we need the consultants, the senior consultants, and other critical staff, the staffing level is just at 31%. And this is really quite low.
She confirms that government has rejected the proposal to phase out the training of certificate nurses.
There was a proposal that was mooted and brought at the East African community level to phase out the certificate nurses from the East African region, and of course ensure that the training of nurses commences from at diploma level. As ministers of the East African community, ministers of health, we actually rejected that idea, considering that we still have rural health settings where we don't have even all the staffing. And these certificate nurses are quite critical.
The director for Mount May Institute of Health Sciences, Edith Akankwasa, says that the institute will train more professionals, including online training in midwifery.
Impact through developing critical human resources that contribute to the delivery of quality care in our health system.
Mount May is a Christian-based organization that supports people living with HIV and other health services and training of health professionals. Helen Barbara and Adiana Kuti for UBC News.
Now, regulators of the broadcasting industry and implementers of the Copyright and Neighboring Act want to streamline the processes of licensing and revenue collection for copyright from different broadcasters. Now, during a consultative meeting with broadcasters and telecom companies, the head of Media and Content, Uganda Communications Commission, Medika Gwa, said that this will help to make the content affordable to all stakeholders.
Members from the creative arts industry have demanded broadcasters to pay for using their content, emphasizing that most of the music and films aired on radios and televisions is pirated. They claim to invest money to produce, yet their material is used without permission.
They are showing pirated content. They are showing non-classified content. Before we talk about harmonizing, let's put away criminality.
In the process of promoting us, making new content, the largest input in your business is music and videos, and you're getting them for free.
The contention arises from the percentage share of revenue collection by broadcasters and the authors.
On television, they will tell you we shall share, and when you get a sponsor on board, the maximum they can give you is about 15%. When they are not even paying for the content.
Here who said that the most you can get out of a broadcaster in a revenue share model is 15%. I want to say this to the different content producers for television that are here, that at the Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, we've heeded to the content quota provisions that have been made by UCC for our local content producers, and actually I'm not shy to say our revenue share model goes up to 40% for the content producer.
This attack on broadcasters followed a statement by a board member for National Association of Broadcasters that as they ask for payment for their content, broadcasters also air their works free of charge. According to broadcasters, the processes and procedures by collective management organizations of collecting revenue are not clear, and their capacity to carry out such kind of work is questionable.
Our main issue is that the law has given a CMO the authority to what? To license other users, which is something that we don't feel comfortable with, where another business entity is licensing another business entity.
However, before that happens, even the people who use the products that they want to enforce against need to understand what the law requires, and processes made clear in terms of who do I make the payment for, how much do I pay, and when do I pay.
Officials from Uganda Performing Rights Society, a collective management organization, say broadcasters are not compliant.
To pay for copyright and also sound recording, but as of now they are paying for only copyright, which is very little. In fact, we have an agreement, they are paying half of what they are supposed to pay, but even that, they are not complying. Only 10% is complying.
During a consultative meeting, Mark Nyangoma Chigundu, Senior Registrations Officer, Uganda Registration Services Bureau, certificate for copyright protection is issued after 60 days after that work has been publicized in the Gazette.
It's mandatory by law to advertise your work to the public to show that you have applied for this protection, for you sang a song and this is a song, this album that you've sung, that you're showing it to the public, and so the public know that it is your work. So upon advertising in the Gazette, we see that that's when people will see the work advertised. So if there's anyone who has an issue with your work, that's the point where they have to oppose.
Meanwhile, telecom companies, although deal with vendors, need to pay royalties to the creative industry for using ringtones. I'm Navka Farida and Helen Barbara in Kampala.
And in the education sector, Uganda Examination Board, UNEB, is worried about the decreasing number of female students enrolled at A-level. Much as this is attributed to other alternative education careers. UNEB feels there is need to foster awareness to girls, especially from parents, on the benefits of such A-level.
Education exams will start on Monday next week. At least 104,000
481 candidates were registered for UNEB, but only 6,386 candidates are female, compared to both UCE and PLE, where female candidates are more.
Whereas at PLE and the UCE levels, we observed that the number of female candidates were higher than the number of males at those two levels. At the UACE level, the reverse is true. You've observed that there are many more boys than girls. In fact, 58.2% of the registered candidates are male.
Addressing media at their Ntinda-based offices, the Executive Secretary UNEB Dan Odongo attributes this decline to the other educational alternatives such as nursing and teaching.
After UCE, there are a number of opportunities for females. Many of them will go and take a nursing course, nursing and midwifery. They admit after UCE, and you will observe the overwhelming number of students at the nursing and midwifery schools are female. So we expect quite a number of females opt to do that. There are also other avenues. For example, they go and join the PTCs. The PTCs admit students after UCE, and there are very many girls who opt to go and train.
Tomorrow, 8th November, Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education candidates will be briefing ahead of history and mathematics on Monday.
To continue to appeal to heads of centers or head teachers, the teachers, the invigilators, and any other persons that are going to be involved in the conduct of this examination to desist. They should be professional, and they desist from the criminal activity of examination malpractice.
Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education are the final exams on the UNEB annual calendar. I'm Robert Nyango for UBC News, Kampala.
Scientific research indicates that the higher the population, the more levels of environmental degradation. River Mpanga in Rwenzori region is among the natural resources facing a similar challenge.
Okusinziira ku tteeka ly'obutonde bw'ensi ly'omwaka gwa 2000, omuntu yenna akolera okumpi
Well, we do apologize for that. Is a version of our Luganda bulletin, but we will be bringing the English version in a short while. As we continue, residents in Kibimba B, Kakoma Parish, Chazanga Sub-County in Lwengu District have destroyed property belonging to one Baziwe for allegedly being accused of murder. The residents suspected Baziwe of killing a 10-year-old girl daughter to the LC1 chairman of the area on the 29th of August 2019. Drama ensued when Baziwe, who is alleged to have killed the deceased, refused to concur with the residents' decision of leaving the village. The residents started destroying Baziwe's property. The DPC of Masaka, Paul Kangave, has condemned these acts.
abatuuze twagala okubasaba ebikuba bino babirekere awo kubanga okwonoona ebintu by'omuntu ate nagwo omusango gwaki gwanjawulo bali baganda boono obuvubuka
n'omwana wa nanka n'omwana wa gundi
ng'atumalawo bumazi ate weewunya ebyaba biriwa
Well, those are the angry residents there of Masaka Chazang, and that's what we call mob justice. They think that the police is not doing much, so definitely they have to take matters in their own hands. Now, issues about dual curriculum. The Ministry of Education and Sports will roll out the newly developed lower secondary dual curriculum in February 2020, and students from S1 to S3 will be required to undergo vocational training. The acting director, Directorate of Industrial Training, Patrick Yakatonda, says that this initiative is aimed at providing skilling to every Ugandan.
15 secondary schools countrywide are currently piloting the dual curriculum, where learners are subjected to skills training program alongside the basic academic-oriented education. The acting director, Directorate of Industrial Training, Patrick Yakatonda, says the approach is in response to the demands of the labour world for marketable skills, where schools are required to produce learners who are competitive.
We have already worked on the curriculum for lower secondary together with the National Curriculum Development Center in partnership. So some of the skills will be recognized and will be certified by DIT.
Agaba Joseph, a curriculum specialist with the National Curriculum Development Center, NCDC, says they are working closely with the Directorate of Industrial Training to ensure more secondary schools undertake the dual curriculum approach and undergo competence assessment before setting their final UCE examinations.
National Curriculum Development Center is working in partnership with the Directorate of Industrial Training to skill ordinary level learners in the different subjects, the vocational subjects that they can opt for when they are studying at ordinary level. This came about as a result of the need for learners who are competent rather than just knowledge-based learners. So learners with skills that can help them in the world of work.
Namukali Areas, the head of vocational department, New Horizon Secondary Vocational School in Mukono District, says the imparted skills acquired by the students will help them be enterprising and self-sustaining at an early age.
We keep them with the skills that they can be able to start on their own projects. For example, when you visit our workshops, you find that they are doing some small projects. You find a student is making a bag in textile. You find a student is making a candle stand in metal fabrication.
The students have also appreciated the program and believe they will not lack what to do once out of school. I'm Nafka Farida and Ganga Henry.
And in the areas of land matters, the Land and Management Directorate has engaged with the Minister of State for Land, Pasis Namuganza, on how to handle land evictions and customary registration. Minister of State for Lands, Pasis Namuganza, says that the main objective is to address absent landlords and ensure that Ugandans identify the non-registered land dealers.
People have been seen complaining about evictions from land without compensation. Some people claim to have full ownership of the land, yet in some cases they do not present documents of ownership.
Who gives the investor the right to evict a pastoralist from their own land? Is it the Minister of Land or is it the Minister of Energy? Every investor comes with a notification from the Minister of Energy.
Strict laws were issued on evictions, and according to the minister, customary land cannot be sold, but can be used and left for the coming generations.
Also appealing to the leaders, because we know that we have very vulnerable communities, but the leaders at least they are empowered. So the leaders, right from the chairpersons, local governments, to come out strongly, because for them they know what government has decided to do.
The minister appeals to the public to consult with authorities when such incidents happen, as cultural leaders do the sensitization.
State Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Major Bright Ramirama, has commended the East African Community Council on Cooperation and Defense and the partner states for implementation of the provisions for the Protocol on Cooperation in Defense Affairs. He was opening a 2-week East African Community Armed Forces Command Post, which was exercised as Ushirikiano Imara, held at Gaddafi Barracks in Jinja.
The East African Community Armed Forces Command Post is the 12th edition being held in the context of East African Community Protocol on Cooperation in Defense Affairs.
Also aware that cooperation, mutual understanding and collaboration in matters of defense are of mutual benefit to the partner states.
During the official opening of the exercise at Gaddafi Barracks in Jinja, the State Minister for Defense and Veteran Affairs, Ramina Bright, said that member states are looking at areas of cooperation embedded in the protocol on 4 pillars, including military training and joint operations.
This is the 12th of such an exercise conducted under the framework of East African Community pursuant to Article 2 of the East African Protocol on Cooperation in Defense Affairs, and is aimed at promoting the East African integration agenda. In this protocol, partner states agreed to cooperate in all defense affairs and collaborate with international and regional organizations to promote peace, security, and stability in the community.
The Chief of Defense Forces, General David Moho, said the objective of the command post exercise was to enhance the ability of the East African partner state defense forces.
Treasure peace and security in the East African region as a precursor for socio-economic transformation. We take seriously threats to peace and security and the serious consequences they pose to us as a region. These include terrorism, cross-border and intrastate conflicts, proliferation of small arms and more, which all lead to instability and which threaten our people and their properties.
At the official opening were chiefs of defense forces, service commanders and general officers, police and prison officers and contingents of the East African partners. Mutesa Sira Haruna reporting for UBC News.
Well, thank you very much there, Mutesa Sira Haruna. Now, as we move ahead into a little bit of sad news, one person has died in an accident along Ntinde Shiwatule Road, a city suburb. The accident occurred after a lorry registration number UAX 495 carrying aggregates failed to brake and rammed into 9 vehicles and 2 motorcycles. Kampala Metropolitan Police Deputy Spokesperson Luke Owoyesigere says that William Matovo, a cyclist, died at Independent Hospital. Now, according to Owoyesigere, police is yet to establish the number of injured people since they were taken to different hospitals for treatment. He also says police is still hunting for the driver of the lorry who fled after the accident. At least 17 people are suspected to have been injured in this accident.
But they were rushed to different hospitals around Tinda and Chiwatule. So far we can confirm one person dead who is believed to have died from Kampala Independent Hospital a while back, and the investigations are ongoing to establish his identity and other details. So the investigations are still ongoing. So far the road has been cleared from our traffic police, and we are still looking for the driver who was driving this vehicle, the Sino truck, who is believed to be currently on the run.
Let's take a short break, but do not go away. News Tonight continues after that.
this weekend on UBC.
My name is Nkayo Hannington, winner of the NSSF Friends with Benefits Season 2.
Congratulations, Hannington!
I used my winnings to boost my agricultural production and give a chance to the people in my community to work.
So join us this year for the third season of the NSSF Friends with Benefits, as 16 Ugandans share inspirational stories on how they use their NSSF benefits to do life-changing things. So tune in every Sunday with your hosts, Gaetano and I, and special new host, Uncle D. It's another incredible display. It's the NSSF Friends with Benefits.
And that's not all. You have the power to vote for your favorite stories to win up to 55 million shillings, just like Hannington. This show is brought to you by
NSSF, a better life.
Hello, Uganda!
We introduce to you the first and ever My Right to Play Christmas Kids Festival 2019. Let the kids feel the Christmas Eve on the 21st of December at the Legend Sports Ground in Lugogo. Entrance is 10,000 shillings only and parents free. Bring your child and have an opportunity to play, sing, dance and discover their talents. Mujje tuyingira amazaalibwa nga abato basanyusa bato bannaabwe. Muleete abaana bammwe banyumirwe, banywe, bazanye. Kino kigenda kubeera kijjobi. Proudly sponsored by Legend Sports Ground, UBC TV, Star TV, U24 TV, Star FM, Magic 100 FM, UBC Butebo, Marketing, UMC Victoria Hospital, and Ideas Workshop. Bw'oba oyagala omwana okuyimba kuba ku ssimu eno.
Welcome back. It's time for business as we start off with a competitiveness forum. Key stakeholders in Uganda's agriculture industry have converged in Kampala to discuss issues on agro-industrialization and agro-industrialization as singled out among critical areas of investment that have a capacity to propel Uganda into the middle-income economic status.
Enhancing competitiveness in Uganda's agro-industry is the theme of this year's 10th National Competitiveness Forum that is organized by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development.
The 10th National Competitive Forum has come timely at this particular time, especially when we have trade wars between the US and China. There's growing protectionism by some countries, unfair tariffs, non-tariff barriers, and also the impact of the fourth industrial revolution and the digital age.
Engineer Jedra highlighted Uganda's comparative advantage in the agricultural industry and spotted areas of improvement crucial in boosting Uganda's regional and global competitiveness.
EU was going to ban exports of Ugandan agricultural products because we're not conforming to certain standards. And those are standards which are very easy to attain.
The focus on agricultural industry and its value chain is lauded by private sector stakeholders in attendance.
We need to have integrated models within the value chains. The moment we link primary production with the industry, that's when we are going to create real value, and which value would lead Uganda into a competitive economy.
Agriculture is the way to go, but then you cannot only do farming, you have to do value addition. So that would take care of the food security, the employment. It will also bring in all the foreign exports, all the foreign money. So in my view, it is a solution to so many problems, which we are finally waking up to.
Proactive strategies of boosting market access for Uganda's agro-industrial products, innovation in the sector, and value addition top the agenda of the one-day National Competitiveness Forum discussions.
Belgium and Belgium Embassy in Uganda have organized a trade mission where over 20 companies will explore partnerships and business opportunities. Addressing participants, the State Minister for Trade, Michael Werike, urged the Belgian government for more investments in and also assured security of their investment.
Authority, engineering, technology, services such as project and feasibility consultancy, environment and entertainment, telecommunications and digital economy, food safety and quality, automotive industry, and dredging and marine engineering, among others.
Opportunity to improve the productivity of the sector. In many places in Uganda, you can have 2 or even 3 harvests a year, but today there's only 1. So there is the capacity for improvement is huge. And with proper techniques, some degree of mechanization.
He was stating that there's a lot of exports from Uganda into Belgium, especially fish and flowers, of course. And I think a whole program has been directed now, even from us, from our side, with the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade, to ensure that we can continue to export more into the EU, and of course Belgium is also, in that sense, the gateway to Europe. We have daily flights with Brussels Airlines, so.
In our business clinic, small and medium enterprises are having a 2-day free advisory service forum, accounting firms at the Uganda Manufacturers Association showground in Lugogo. The Business Advisory Service is an initiative of the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda and aims at providing financial literacy to small and medium enterprises and the general public.
Normal day-to-day life, if you don't interact with an accountant or his work, then you are economically irrelevant.
Small and medium enterprises contribute about 70% towards gross domestic product of Uganda, and yet they grapple with tax compliance, access to credit, stock management, bookkeeping, and cost management. It is for this reason that the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda has offered a 2-day free advisory services to the public to inspire them and awaken their business skills.
Because we use it to mobilize our members to come and first showcase what they do, but secondly offer free advice, give you a bit of tester on what you need to consume from them. So being able to go around the stalls, you'll be able to see a range of advisory services, from audit to tax to consulting to debt management to human resource management to resources mobilization to so many things.
The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda President CPA Frederick Chibedi says the pro bono services aim at propping up the SMEs that account for over 90% of private business in Uganda.
And also to encourage them, because they have a very big and very important role they play in the running and management of business.
An officer with the Federation of Small and Medium Enterprise Uganda, Sylvia Namale, says the free business advisory services will address the growing gap in financial management among SMEs that have access to credit and business growth.
So what happens is that when small or medium enterprise approaches us, we help them to get to know about things like TIN registration, approaching URSB for any services that they would like.
The Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda Manager Standards and Technical Support, Charles Rutimba, says the 2-day pro bono event would help SMEs learn basic financial records and prosper in business.
The Accountancy Services Week is a concept that was developed around giving back to the community. Remember, the accountants do not operate in an isolation. Accountants work within communities they live, and we believed that if they would come and converge here, offer services free of charge to you, the business people out there, it would be a commendable effort to them. It would be a commendable effort in as far as developing businesses in this country is concerned.
The Institute Secretary, Derek Nkaja, says licensed accounting firms from across the financial and management divide would offer free financial advice on basics in bookkeeping, interpretation of financial statements, among other skills.
As you celebrate accountancy, it's important to remember and to note that accountancy works in a space where ethics is espoused, where integrity is paramount, and something that as the profession we desire to inculcate in the carrying on businesses in Uganda.
A woman entrepreneurs mentorship and a business engagement seminar will run alongside the business clinic at Uganda Manufacturers Association, Rugogo. Haimana Deo, reporting for UBC News, Kampala.
And crossing over to The Hague, the International Criminal Court has sentenced the Congolese former rebel leader Bosco Ntaganda to 30 years in prison after he was earlier this year charged with war of crimes, including murder, rape, and sexual slavery. The sentence on Thursday was the highest ever penalty handed down by the best court, that is the Hague-based court. Bosco Ntaganda, known as the Terminator, was found guilty in July of directing massacres of civilians in the Democratic Republic of Congo and then volatile mineral-rich Ituri region, and that happened in 2002 and 2003. In total, he was convicted of 13 counts of war crimes and 5 of crimes against humanity. He was the first person to be found guilty of sexual slavery. The Rwandan-born 46-year-old has appealed against his conviction. The ICC judges are heard separately from the victims and witnesses in September to help them decide on this particular sentence. The first ever suspect to voluntarily surrender to the ICC was Ntaganda as he walked into the United States Embassy in Rwandan capital Kigali, and that happened in 2013. And he asked to be sent to court in the Netherlands. And in sports, Uganda Olympic Committee is leaving nothing to chance in its pursuit for success at the 2020 Olympics to be hosted by Japan, and that will start on 24th of July till 9th of August.
With the 2020 Olympic Games less than 9 months away, Uganda Olympic Committee has zeroed on 9 sports disciplines that they expect to deliver medals. These are athletics, boxing, swimming, rowing, weightlifting, rugby sevens, badminton, skating, and basketball's 3x3 version. Qualification is in many ways including those with required times, while others, like in badminton, being within the required global ranking is enough. The quota system, in which a country is allowed a certain number irrespective of meeting standards, is another gauge, while universality or wild card ticket offered by the International Olympic Committee is also available. In order to qualify at least 35 athletes, Uganda Olympic Committee is offering support in various ways.
So for us to be able to help these athletes, we have opportunities that have been offered. We have what we call Olympic scholarships, which has 6 beneficiaries, 1 from swimming and 5 from athletics. Then of course we have the team grand sport, the beneficiaries rugby sevens. We also have continental athlete support, and we have ANOCA support grant, which is for focusing on athletes to win medals. That is the target from ANOCA.
Runners like Sarah Chelangat and Joshua Cheptegei and swimmer Rebecca Sengonzi are some on these programs secured by Uganda Olympic Committee. to enable the athletes reach set goals through their own dictates.
We know what we're doing, and we're zeroing down on particular athletes and saying this is where we're going to get our medals from. We can't do all the sports that exist, but with the limited finances that we have, as you all see, I think you can give us credit for the list of athletes that are here in the scholarship grant. And we have already qualified, I think, 70% of those on scholarship, and 2 have become world champions. So we are focusing greatly with the limited finances that we have on a group that we believe will be able to produce the results. So for me, I'm very proud of what we have, what we're presenting here going into Tokyo 2020.
You can get the option of get a contribution of about $1,000 per month, which they give you. Each of these athletes get $1,000, and then it helps them, and then they have $5,000 to help them go to attend a particular qualification event. So this money they get every month is supposed to help them for training, coaching, and all those things. So they get it directly. So it has to build in, their money they have to build into the archives. Yes, they have other commitments, but this contribution builds into their overall structure. So that's how it ties in. So you have to choose an option, training center, or you receive a monthly contribution, which contributes to their overall, like that they have that 5,000. If they want to, for example, go to a particular event, they can draw on that 5,000 to contribute. So it's not going to cover everything, but it's a contribution to their training agenda.
5 Ugandans, including rower Catherine Noble and runners Joshua Cheptegei, Winnie Nanyondo, Peruth Chemtai and Halima Nakai, have already secured their slots at the Olympics next year. The qualification pathway continues until April 26, 2020 for all others, apart from athletics whose qualification deadline is 29th June 2020. Uganda Olympic Committee has also secured partnership for pre-game training in Japan, either at Tateshina Nagano Prefecture or Izumisano, Osaka Prefecture. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Now, moving ahead, in basketball, Federation of Uganda Basketball Associations has confirmed readiness to host the FIBA 3-on-3 Africa Cup. The tournament, at which 12 countries are expected to start on Friday at the hockey grounds in Lugogo, are in high gear.
The long wait is over and Uganda is ready to host the FIBA 3-on-3 Africa Cup that will have a junior under-18 category as well as seniors. This version of the sport is new to many Ugandans, and in fact, few have had a chance of witnessing it live and in flesh, and thus the relevance of explaining what it entails.
Now, 3-on-3 basketball is going to be played for the first time at the Olympics, Tokyo 2020. But what is special is this is a shorter version of the game, of the normal basketball game that we know, and it's played for 10 minutes. Though a team that scores 21 points goes on to win that game, even if it's just 5 minutes. If a team scores 21 points, it goes on to win the game. But to the other question, it is a very special event. 3-on-3 is being promoted all over the world by FIBA, and it increases the participation of the people. It's a less demanding game, but very exciting.
Uganda's senior men's team is of 4, including Ivan Lumanyika, Cyrus Kiviri, James Okello and Marco Pio, while the ladies are Rita Emanishwe, Ekon Brenda, Zaina Lokwameri and Hope Akello.
The preparations are in their final touches, as you have seen at the hockey grounds in Lugogo. The courts have been set up, our national teams are practicing. We have the final 4 of the players that are going to be representing the country. That is the Silverbacks and the Gazelles for the seniors that are going to be representing us for the FIBA 3-on-3 Africa Cup. Now, this is an international tournament, so that means that everything that we are doing is on that international stage. But countries have already started to arrive. Kenya, Burundi, we have Egypt that also arrived early this morning. We have Nigeria, Niger that are arriving later on this evening. Djibouti are on their way. So everything seems to be moving as planned.
The tournament for Uganda's women's team is monumental in its quest to accumulate further points to be able to compete at the first ever Olympics of that version of the sport in Japan next year. John Barnes, Sendamo, reporting.
Now, before we sign out, let's go to Molen Kenyana to have a weather focused.
Hello there, always a pleasure to have you for the weather report. My name is Molen Kenyana, and we shall remember that the weather report is brought to you by Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Now, the weather tell indicates a slight reduction in wet weather activities across much of the country, mostly to the north as well as parts of central Uganda. And we could be seeing similar conditions for the next couple of days, as we shall be seeing from the satellite analysis. Now, for now, let's take a look at our 24-hour report. Well, according to the available data, Lira was reporting the highest amount of rainfall by 9 o'clock this morning, and that was 43.6 millimeters. Also had a total of 24.8 across Gulu, and Kampala was reporting a total of 8.4 millimeters. Now look at our satellites, where we're seeing that we still have low pressure systems across the southern half of our continent. Now those are weakening the systems that are supposed to be bringing us some of these rains, although the western sector is still benefiting from the moist winds that are coming in from the Congo forest towards our country. Now tomorrow in the morning, we're likely to start off with a very pleasant morning. We will see upward sunshine, and that will be blending in with clouds over most places within the country. Now, later on in the afternoon, we're likely to have thunder showers. Those will be across the western stretch as well as parts of central Uganda. We're also forecasting light rains. Those will be across parts of eastern Uganda, but nothing really serious to ruin your day, and those will be over a few places. Now, elsewhere in the country, we're likely to have sunny intervals. We move over to our daytime highs. We're likely to have a maximum of 28. That will be across the nation's capital, Kampala. We'll have temperatures going up to 29 across the north as well as the Karamoja region. And we're forecasting a cold day across Kabalehan's. Temperatures will go up to 22 degrees centigrade. Now we look at some of the world cities where we're forecasting rainy conditions. Those will be across Nairobi. London will be cloudy, and we're likely to have a sunny day across Dubai with temperatures going up to 33 degrees centigrade. And that nicely brings us to the end of today's weather report. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Molen Kenyana, and have a good day tomorrow.
Thank you, Molen. It's time for us to have that recap on our headlines. In our top stories tonight, Ministry of Education rewards best primary teachers with a trip to Israel. Ministry of Health admitted to understaffing for specialized services at regional referral hospitals. On the international scene, the International Criminal Court sentences Bosco Ntaganda to 30 years in prison. And in sports, Uganda Olympic Committee determined to get results at the 2020 Olympics. And of course, for me, the highlight and the whole bulletin is that very story in our headlines where the Olympic Committee, in its pursuit for success at the 2020 Olympic Games, they're really trying to be strategic. What do I call strategic? William Blake said that the focus is on a smaller but a stronger team. That is typically strategic. My name is Patricia Lokoma. On sign language, it has been Mugalu Mohammed. From the entire news team, it's a good night, but UBC TV continues.
Was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Well, dear friends, we of UBC, God is willing to transform, to change, to give you peace and love and a life that you dream about. But you have to take a decision to leave your comfortable zone. Watch now what God did in the life of this person.
At the Universal Church of the Kingdom of God.
I'm called Munanda Atfa.
I got to know about Universal Church through radio program. I was experiencing a lot of health issues. In 2011, I was operated due to a cyst that ruptured. Then in the healing process, the doctors told me I healed with some adhesions. I could have a lot of pain, so I was always in pain which cannot be explained. I could take painkillers. The moment the painkillers get finished from my body, I experience pain again. So I was tired of that situation. Then I went to see a doctor again, and they told me, we don't understand all these pains are coming from. The only way is to operate you again. Then I told them that the first operation is what brought me all this. So I'm not ready for anyone to operate me again. Then I remember the gynecologist gave me an option, that the only option which will save your life is if you can find a doctor who operated you the first time, say that he can write a report, because he didn't write a report. That was so difficult. 2010, and I joined the church in 2016. I asked myself, oh my God, where will I find this doctor? So I told him, you know what, I'm not ready for another operation, but I know God will meet me along the way. So after joining the church, I kept on praying. I remember the manner which was supposed to be for the operation. I put all of it on the altar. And remember, my operation was scheduled, and I didn't have any more money. So after that test, they told me there was no cancer. We have released the scars that were causing pain, and we're expecting you to be fine. For me, I didn't know about tithe. Since I was coming from a Muslim background, I was always criticizing. When they said tithe, I would only remove what I feel like removing. But when I came to Universal Church, I was really taught, and I understood that not taking tithe is robbing God. And much as I had worked, I can tell you, I spent most of the money in health issues. I'm either buying drugs to take, or I'm going for an operation. But when I started tithing, before I remove my salary, I get an alert in the phone. But when I remove my salary, maybe it has come maybe too early, and maybe I only wanted to pay maybe electricity bills, or maybe I wanted to buy something. The first thing to do is to separate my tithe in my bag. I remove it and put it in another pocket. Then I start spending the little money which is there. I realized that my health started changing. I started spending less on health issues. Today as I speak, I rarely fall sick. I don't remember the last day I even took medicine. So really, I'm so thankful to God.
I would like to pray for you. I would like to pray for you, to ask God to change your life. Let us talk to Him.
Join us for a moment of prayer.
My Lord, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I pray, and I believe you can change the life of this person. In Jesus' name, bind up all the works of the devil, all evil, and bless them. In the name of Jesus, make this water be full of power to rescue them. Amen.